Hello friends, I am Dr. Sharad Binnor from KTHM College Nashik. Today we are going to study an important topic from the section Theory of Poetry, that is, what is an epic. In our previous interactions or sessions, we have discussed topics such as what is poetry, various definitions of poetry, classification of poetry into subjective and objective poetry, types of subjective poetry such as lyric, sonnet, ode, and elegy, and we have started discussing types of objective poetry. So, in today's lecture or session, we are going to discuss uh, epic, which is the form or type of objective poetry. The objectives of this session are to introduce the concept of an epic so that students can understand what is an epic and identify this particular form of poetry. Then second objective is to acquaint students with the conventions, various conventions of the epic form. And the last objective is to introduce them to the concept of mock epic, that is parody on the epic form. Definition of an epic. The word epic is derived from the ancient Greek adjective epikos, which means a poetic story. In literature, an epic is a long narrative poem which is usually related to heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage and unparalleled bravery. In order to depict this bravery and courage, the epic uses grandiose style. According to M. H. Abraham, an epic is a long narrative poem on a serious topic told in a formal and elevated style and centered on a heroic or quasi divine figure on whose actions depends the fate of a tribe, nation, or the human race, just as in Milton's Paradise Lost. According to Webster's New World Dictionary, epic is a long narrative poem in a dignified style about the deeds of a traditional or historical heroes, typically a poem like Iliad or the Odyssey with certain formal characteristics. Both these definitions uh, tell us something about the characteristics of the epic form. That is, it is a long narrative poem and its subject matter is serious and it is written in formal or elevated style and it describes the deeds of a hero or quasi divine figure. The hero is usually the representative of the values of a certain culture, race, nation, or a religious group on whose victor or failure the destiny of the whole nation or group depends. That is what all these definitions tell us. Therefore, certain supernatural forces help the hero who comes out victor or victorious at the end. An epic usually starts with an invocation to Muse but then picks up the threads of the story from the middle and moves on to the end. Function of an epic. As the epic poem is the earliest form of poetry, it is the earliest form of entertainment as well. Epics were written to commemorate the struggles and adventures of kings and warriors. The main function of epic poetry was to elevate the status of the hero among the audiences to inspire them to be ready to perform heroic actions. Epic often most of its themes from the exploits performed by legendary characters and their illustrious ancestors. That is why these exploits become examples for others to follow and still lived in books. It is through epics models of ideal heroic behavior were supplied to the common people. Moreover, epics also were collections of historical events not recorded in common history books. The reason that they are read today to be enjoyed and be informed regarding the past. Let us discuss some of the conventions of the epic. There are several characteristics or conventions of an epic which distinguishes it from other forms of poetry. They are invocation, bulky size, heroic figure, exaggeration, intervention by God or supernatural beings, morality, sublime theme, elevated and grand style, use of epic similes begins in medias res. Invocation to the muse is an important quality of an epic. It is an important convention of an epic. The poet at the very beginning of the epic seeks the help of the muse while writing his epic. Look at the beginning lines of the Iliad, Odyssey, and Paradise Lost. The second convention of an epic or characteristic of an epic is its bulky size. An epic is an extensive and prolonged narrative in verse. Usually, every single epic has been broken down into multiple books. For example, Homer's epics are divided into 24 books. Similarly, John Milton's Paradise Lost has been divided into 12 books. Another essential feature of an epic is the fact that it dwells upon the achievements of a historical or traditional hero or a person of national or international significance. Every epic extols the valor, deeds, bravery, character, and personality of a person who is having incredible physical and mental traits, such as Achilles. Exaggeration is also an important part of an epic. The poet uses hyperboles to describe or to reveal the prowess of a hero. He doesn't think twice to use exaggeration to make an impression on the audience. Supernaturalism is a must have feature of an every epic. Without having to use supernatural elements, no epic would certainly produce awe and wonder. There are certainly gods, demons, angels, fairies, and use of supernatural forces like natural catastrophes in every epic. Milton's Paradise Lost, Homer's Iliad, Beowulf, and Spenser's Fairy Queen are replete with supernatural elements and intervention by God or supernatural beings. Morality is a key characteristic of an epic. The poet's foremost purpose in writing an epic is to give a moral lesson to his readers. For instance, John Milton's Paradise Lost is a perfect example in this regard. The poet wants to justify the ways of God to man through the story of Adam. This is the most didactic theme of the epic. The theme of each epic is sublime, elegant, and having universal significance. It may not be an insignificant theme which is only limited to the personality or the locality of the poet or certain people. It deals with the entire humanity. Thus, John Milton's Paradise Lost is a great example in this regard. The theme of this epic is certainly of great importance and deals with entire humanity. It is them to that the poet tries to justify the ways of God to man. The diction of or style of every epic is lofty, grand, elevated, and elegant. No trivial, common, or colloquial language is used in epic. The poet tries to use sublime words or expressions to describe the events. Use of epic simile is another feature of an epic. Epic simile is a far-fetched comparison between two objects which runs through many lines to describe the valor, bravery, and gigantic stature of the hero. It is also called Homeric simile. The narrative in epic starts in medias res, that is in the middle of things, at a very crucial point in the action. Paradise Lost opens with the fallen angels in hell, gathering their scattered forces and determining on revenge. Not until books 5 and 7 does the angel Raphael narrate to Adam the events in heaven which led to this situation, while in books 11 and 12, after the fall, Michael foretells to Adam future events up to Christ's second coming. So, these are the conventions of the epic. Let us discuss the types of epic. Folk epic and literary epic are the two important types of epic. A folk epic is also commonly known as primary epic. There are some distinguishing features of the folk epic. One is the fact that the folk epic is very ancient and old. Folk epics are traditional and have been passed down from one generation to another through oral means. Hence, it isn't surprising that most of the folk epics have unknown authors, even though they may be linked to a particular community or a people or a particular author. The folk epic contains lot of supernaturalism since they have a traditional origin and are very old. Examples of folk epic include Beowulf and French Song of Roland. Most of the folk epics are still in oral form and have missing bits with not very well structured form, meaning there might be patches of information missing. The folk epic is entirely a result of local beliefs and mythologies. Literary epic. Literary epics may also be known as secondary epics. A literary epic is a folk epic that has been given a structure and may contain far more detail that might not be found in the folk epic. Folk epics have their origin mostly from an oral epic. That said, literary epics might be the complete opposite of the folk epics. Literary epics are more structured and contain an elevated style of words and artistic structure. They contain the thoughts and imagination of the author and are not dictated necessarily by past events and history. Literary epics are more structured and are as a result of well planned phrases and themes. It is very common for literary epics to have a twist of language and style. Examples of literary epics include Virgil's Aeneid, Spenser's Faerie Queene, and Milton's Paradise Lost. Let us discuss some examples of the epic. Iliad is example of an epic that is known as folk epic. It was written by the popular Greek poet Homer. It relates the story of the Trojan Wars, involving themes of courage, boldness, love for one's country, and nostalgia of family. However, it describes many legends related to the siege of Troy. The events took place before the siege, the gathering of the warriors prior to the siege, and the causes of the war. Later, the epic foretold the looming death of Achilles and the destruction of Troy. The style of narration is grand and suits an epic poem. The reason that it is still one of the most celebrated work of antiquity is its style. Paradise Lost, which was written in 1660. Paradise Lost was written by the 17th century English poet John Milton. It is a very good example of literary epic. It deals with the theme of the fate of humanity. In this epic, Milton discusses or describes Satan's fall from the heaven and Adam and Eve's fall from the Garden of Eden. In this epic, Milton has used many epic devices introduced by Homer, such as invocation to the muse, extended similes, and grand style. Mock epic. Italy and France set the fashion for a parody of the epic form, which later found imitators in England. It resulted in the origin of mock epic or heroic form in English language. In mock epic, a theme unworthy of the serious epic is represented in traditional elevated style of the epic form. A mock epic or mock heroic poem is that type of parody which imitates in a sustained way both the elaborate form and the ceremonious style of the epic genre, but applies it to narrate a commonplace or trivial subject matter. It follows all the conventions of the epic but to represent a trivial subject. For example, Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock, which depicts the battle between young ladies and gentlemen over the theft of a lady's curl or lock of hair. Pope's poem has the complete epic form. There is the usual opening proposition and invocation, the proper celestial machinery or supernatural elements, the dramatic episodes, one of which is the rape or theft itself, and all the other devices of the classical epic. Hazlitt has rightly remarked, the little has been made great and the great little about this type of poetry. Hope all of you have understood the concept of epic and got some idea about the characteristics of the epic and its type. Thank you very much for your patient listening.